Sudan's long-running conflict has deepened after rebels captured a strategic transport hub in the oil-producing south of the country. The civil war, now in its third year, has already killed tens of thousands and displaced at least 12 million people, a scale of suffering unmatched anywhere else in the world today. Aman Kumar Himanshu reports.
As the civil war enters its third year, Sudan's two warring factions remain locked in a deadly power struggle. The Rapid Support Forces is tightening its grip across the country. After crushing the last resistance in El Fasher, October, and leaving the city's besieged citizens in ruins, the paramilitary force is now driving east. On the 1st of December, its fighters stormed Babanusa in West Kordofan, overrunning the Sudanese Army's 22nd Infantry Division, a base that had been surrounded for nearly a year. It is another major blow to the Sudanese Army and another major gain for the RSF. Babanusa sits just southeast of Darfur, right on the strategic road that once led straight to Khartoum before the government fled to Port Sudan when the war erupted in April 2023. The town is the Sudan Army's closest gateway from Kordofan into Darfur. Losing it means losing a critical link across north, south and west Kordofan, and it pushes the war deeper into Sudan's heartland. The Sudanese Armed Forces have denied that the town had been entirely captured, asserting that battles were ongoing. The RSF framed its operation as a response to what it described as a surprise army attack that violated a humanitarian truce. The army countered by accusing the RSF of mounting artillery and drone strikes that continued to destabilize the area. The takeover of Babanusa comes just days after Sudan's Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan rejected the US-backed ceasefire proposal and accused Washington, D.C. of bias. Following that rejection, the RSF announced a unilateral ceasefire, which it has continued to accuse the army of violating, even as its own military operations persisted across multiple fronts. Babanusa's strategic value is immense. It functions as a crossroads for roads and logistics feeding southern oil fields and markets. It is also described as a gateway to the Darfur region and the whole of Western Sudan. Control of this hub can influence the movement of fuel supplies and humanitarian convoys, creating leverage over regional trade routes. Losing Babanusa would make it much more challenging for the Sudanese army to reach ports of Darfur or other parts of Kordofan. Analysts warn that if Babanusa falls completely, the political shockwave will be enormous. The city is considered a huge mercantile center, a regional capital, and a major economic win. The renewed clashes test international diplomatic efforts, including those led by the Quad comprising Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the U.A.E. and the United States, which have sought to implement a durable truce. Last month, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman asked U.S. President Donald Trump to get involved in the conflict. President Trump said at the time that he will work to help end the war in Sudan.
I'll tell you, His Majesty would like me to do something very powerful having to do with Sudan. It was not on my my charts to be involved in that. I thought it was just something that was crazy and out of control. But I just see how important that is to you and to a lot of your friends in the room. Sudan, and we're going to start working in Sudan. I didn't think that that was one that was going to be so easy to do, but we're going to start working.
Still, it is unclear how specifically the U.S. president plans to personally use his influence. The conflict has been heavily fueled by outside support. There have been calls for the U.S. to increase the pressure on the U.A.E., which has been widely accused of supplying weapons to the RSF. The U.A.E. denies it. Ongoing diplomatic efforts continue to stall as Sudan's general rejected the latest ceasefire proposal. More than 950 days have passed since the eruption of violence in Sudan in April of 2023. There is no sign it will stop anytime soon. The civil war has displaced 12 million people. 7.7 million of them are internally displaced. 3.3 million have sought refuge, in neighboring countries, with Egypt being the primary destination. Humanitarian groups warn that an escalation risks worsening shortages of food, medicine, and fuel, and could spark further displacement of civilians. Aman Kumar Himanshu for DD India.